We could probably spend the whole hour discussing this. But let me give you a quick answer on this. So I think, so explainability, it's a funny one. So, hey, the philosopher in me would argue, well, why the heck do we call it explainability? We should call it explicability. It's somehow the AI industry has invented a completely new word to describe this. And I've never met anyone who could tell me where explainability as a word comes from. But it seems to be just a word that only we talk about in this data science community. But it's an interesting one, because I think a lot of software vendors pick up on the non-technical person's paranoia about the black box, the system not being able to explain its results. And what they, what people don't think about is actually we're black boxes, humans. If I crash my car the policeman stops me and says, "What happened?" I'm not going through an audit of every single sensory experience I had and every thought process I was going through, every neuron firing. I post-rationalize. I say, "Oh, I saw a cat running in front of the car and I swerved and I crashed," or whatever lame excuse I came up with. So, we post-rationalize, and we've built a kind of a system of trust around that, and it's good enough for supporting the world that we live in. And so we don't get too hung up on this idea of explainability with humans, but for somehow with machines, we really do. I think what I'm pleased about is, so first of all, to answer your question about regulation, there's no regulation as far as I know on this so far, but I think it's only a matter of time. The European Commission white paper talks about replicability, and I think that's a more important point, is to be able to run a model maybe 12 months later, once you've upgraded TensorFlow and you're running on a totally different data set and your model's updated, and be able to still go back and repeat the same thing with the same conditions. I think that's more important than to be able to explain specifically why this happened. That's my personal view, and it's good to see the European Commission reflect that in their consultation. And I'm hoping over the next year, industry will nudge them towards replicability and having good best practice around audits of your data and your model version control and those sort of things. So I think that's really important.